Hello, I'm Ann Katie, and I live in Woonsock Village in the Lakes region of New Hampshire. We in New Hampshire are very concerned about the lack of personal protective equipment in our state and in the rest of the country. Therefore, we have taken measures to create mask/respirators, and I have designed a facial shield that I will show you how to construct from materials that are easily found either around your home or at the local grocery store, with rare exception. Here is an example. This is my prototype. The first thing you need is a 2-liter clear straight-sided soda bottle. That's the shield. You'll notice that I have drawn a circle around the bottom and around the top for cutting. There's a natural circle at the bottom of the bottle. And then you measure 7 inches from that mark up to the top, and that is where you will cut the other. I recommend giving yourself a little leeway on either side of those marks so that you can finish it off nicely with a pair of scissors. To start the cut, you may use a serrated knife. You may use a hacksaw, or this is a gigantic keyhole saw, but they make keyhole saws in shorter distances like this that would work. You just really need a tough serrated edge. I'm going to use the knife because I have found it at least starts the cut well. Then I take a pair of scissors and cut around on my black mark. To get the bottom off. And then smooth the cut. You do not need to take where the label was fastened because we are going to cut that out. The bottle needs to be 11 inches for the face mask. I'm going to cut up the side to make cutting it off at the top easier than using the serrated, and being able to cut on my black mark all the way around. So now I have the face shield. I will lay it flat as best possible. Take your tape measure once again and measure 11 inches. I use the distance of 11 inches because it is the same size as a piece of 11 by 8.5 inch paper. Next, you will need a 3-hole punch or a hole punch that is the standard size. The reason we use an 11-inch shield is because an 11-inch shield is like an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper. It fits in a 3-hole punch, and you end up with your holes that will be used to attach the mask to the frame. Next, you will need a headband. This is a fabric covered headband. If you can find plain plastic without the fabric, that would work. Whatever your headband, the next thing you do is you take a tape measure of some sort and you measure the length around the headband. This particular headband is 15 inches. Then we are going to attach the first set of foam. I'm using rubber foam Frost King 3/4 inch wide, 7/16 deep, purchased from Home Depot. Not a very expensive item. I will take 15 inches of this, and then I will show you the next step. Our next step is to attach the push fasteners to the foam. These push fasteners were acquired from McMaster Car. We hopefully will have the link along with the video and a complete parts list at some point. The benefit of these is they will push through and open up, but it's easy to take the mask off. Also used Christmas tree push fasteners on my prototype, but taking the mask off that is a bit more difficult. It would have to be cut off, and we really don't want to have to do that. So you take a piece of paper, notebook paper, and center it. Find the center, fold your foam in half. Find the center, mark it with your marker so that you know where the center hole on the center hole on the notebook paper goes. You mark it. Be careful because the foam is sticky and you don't want to lay it down on whatever surface you're working on because it'll stick. Mark the location of the other two holes. So that it looks like this. You have 3 holes. The next task is to punch holes from the foam side through the paper side. You may use a variety of devices: knitting needle, skinny knitting needle, big fat knitting needle, all. You can use your scissors if you don't have any of those other things by folding the foam in half, paper together, and cutting like so at that spot. I'm going to use an awl, but all the others will work. You have to poke the hole from the foam side. And I used an unbent paper clip to poke a starter hole from the paper to the back of the foam so I could see where the hole was supposed to go. Then I push with the awl, and the fastener goes from the foam side to the fabric, to the paper side, like that. There's enough of a neck on the fastener to give room for the foam to expand back to its regular size. Second hole, knitting needle. Fastener. Third hole. Bigger knitting needle. So now we have all 3 push fasteners on the foam. Next, we are going to glue the foam to the headband, even though the foam is sticky, and it's not an absolute necessity with a cloth-covered one to use glue, but it's a measure so that it doesn't come undone. The glue we are using is called E6000, purchased at Home Depot. It was over in the paint section for those looking. It is flexible and should withhold being washed. So we are going to take glue, run it along the headband like unto so. Start at one end and work your foam around the headband like this. This piece seems to think it's a little short, and that's okay, it won't matter. The other thing is, because your wearer might want something to run a tie through the back, I have used paper clips, which can be glued with this glue. And then anything from a shoestring to a ribbon to string can be run through it when it is dry. Like that. We can now take the face mask, pop the face mask onto the push fasteners, and voila, you have a face shield. Simple. I did want to demonstrate that the face shield that I made for the other one in the beginning demonstration, it popped off and it pops on this one. So maybe if you can't do the other things, you can just make the shields for your device, and maybe somebody else can make the other device. If you have any questions, please email me with askyourmama, ASKURMAMA @gmail.com. I will try to answer them as best as possible. I'd put it on, but the glue's still wet. We're all in this together, and it's easy to do. So save those recyclable bottles, reuse them, repurpose them, and let's take care of our frontline healthcare workers. God bless you all. We're in this together.